So excited to chat with you all today and let you know a little bit more about an amazing event that's going to be happening in the US. So, this is actually going to be an immersion, which is super exciting because there's so much information out there. So, this is something where we really get to get into your body and start to live and experience human design, which is just such a beautiful experience. So, I would love to introduce to you Christina Kelley.
Hi guys.
So Christina is, let's see, you are, I know you're 4/6, so splenic manifestor, and you are a right angle cross of rulership. So Christina is the organizer. She's also going to be the host of this event in Colorado. And we have Therese. Therese is going to be one of our facilitators, and she's a 5/1 self-projected projector, and she's a left angle cross of healing. And Kalima. She is also going to be one of the facilitators, and she is a 3/5 manifesting generator, and she is the right angle cross of penetration. Oh, Mary, are you a right angle cross of penetration? Yes, yes. Welcome, welcome. I love it. So, this event is going to be in Colorado Springs, and it is August 20th to the 23rd. So we're going to take a look at the website in a little bit and kind of explore sharing any information. If you guys have questions along the way, just pop them in the chat. So we'll either answer those today or we'll get back to you on some of the questions as well. So the first question, what exactly is an immersion? How is this different?
Would you like to start, Therese?
Well, no? Okay. Okay, then I'll start. Thank you. Well, an immersion, I mean, to immerse for the English speakers is really to dive deeper into something. For those who's like for me, when it's a second language, first I didn't even know what immerse means. So I had to learn that to really get completely involved, surrender to something. And it's really a very different way of learning about who we are than any other workshop or teaching or any conference, which has a great value too, of course. And in an immersion, instead of collecting more information mentally, we spend several days together in protected area and we experiment together. Here I always said, it is an experiment. Try it out for yourself. And we do it in a guided form, according to the types and according to different things that we try out, how this feels and how we impact each other. Like wherever we are open, we get in the energy from those who have a definition there and the other way around, which is also super interesting that I had to learn, like with my defined head and my defined ajna, how it is when I leave the room or those with me who have the same definition. And when we come back, and those who stayed in the room who were open, undefined, what they report. And that's quite shocking sometimes when I'm so relieved. Because I'm emotionally open, so I can relate to that. Believe, although there's also something missing, maybe. So it's a lot of experimentation that you cannot tell somebody who hasn't felt it in their own body. And it's really learning in a group. It's really about discovering mechanics together and to slow down, to observe, and to wait according to our own design. Even when the mind wants to maybe say and do and rush ahead, that's not really the time for that until it's correct. Yeah. So Kalima, would you like to talk a bit more?
And
Maybe
creating
about
the space, yes. And you described it beautifully. To add, it's so hard to add to what you've already done, but to creating the space for that, creating a safe environment to be vulnerable enough to allow yourself to go internal enough to experiment with these energies, to feel these energies within yourself. Perhaps maybe even differentiating for the first time some things that you never knew. And it just really deepens the experience. You're never going to forget it. Your life has changed forever from that moment on because you know something about yourself.
I love that. That's so beautiful. You know, one of the experience I had when we were in Ibiza, it was so funny. You know, you learn the knowledge and you're like, okay, I get it, I understand until you're there though. And what I've also noticed is beliefs come up. Because I remember we went out dancing and there was a group of reflectors that came out dancing and the thought popped up, wait, but how are they out dancing? And it was so interesting to see in the lived experience how I had taken something and categorized it in a way that wasn't even true, right? How I had taken the knowledge and boxed it, not knowingly, right? So getting to actually be in a room and feel the differences and to feel what does this feel like in my body is a whole different level than reading the text. You know, getting to know the text. It's really experiencing the text. You know, like Ross said, it's, you know, this is the map. What is the territory? And I feel sometimes we get so deeply in like, we've got the map, but it's like we're not doing the play. We're not doing the, what does it feel like? What does it feel like when the emotionals, like you were talking about, when the emotionals move out of the room? How does that feel in your body? What is that difference, that nuance that you're noticing uniquely for you? Because we're all so different, right? Our designs are all so different that it's like, here's what it might feel like, but really starting to notice for yourself. And also what you're speaking to, that safe place. It is so important. I cannot stress this enough, having a place and people where you know, ooh, hold on, something's coming up and you can hold it. And what is there and being present with it and being in a place that's held with the energy the way, I mean, I've experienced both of you and I cannot recommend both of you enough. Honestly, like the love and the space you hold and the compassion when there is something, and that is such a huge part of it as well, that you have that permission to feel, that permission to experience what is there and what is present. So thank you. That was beautiful. Love that, the immersion. And then another big part of this is Colorado. Colorado is such a beautiful place. So I've never personally been. I would love to hear from Christina a little bit more about Colorado, why Colorado, what the energy is for anybody who's never been to Colorado before.
So Colorado is a very unique location. It's nestled in kind of the center left of the United States, and we have what is the Rocky Mountain Front Range. So right outside my window here, we have an enormous mountain range. If you are somebody who has skied or enjoys hiking, the mountains here are very unique in that they're so large. It's one of the places in the world where people come uniquely for skiing because the mountains are so large. We also have the city Colorado Springs and the city Denver, Colorado are both nestled up about against this front range, and both cities an hour drive apart. The mountain range runs beyond both of those cities. Another notable thing I want to make sure the participants or anyone interested realizes is that the altitude of Colorado is that sea level. If I go to sea level, I have more physical energy. I can drink more. When you come up to altitude, Colorado Springs is over 6,000 feet above sea level. That's over a mile high, which creates a very unique environment for your body and for awareness. One of the most beautiful things I love about Colorado is not just the mountains, but is the amount of physical activities that you can do. Not only do we have amazing concert venues like Red Rocks in Denver, but we also have Garden of the Gods here in Colorado Springs, which is something we're going to look at and go to at the end of the immersion. We have very unique hiking trails. If you go to somewhere like where Kalima lives, the hiking trails are very different there. The nature is very different. The trees are very different. The experience is it's more moist. It's very dry here in Colorado. It's very beautiful. We have amazing lakes. And as a Colorado native myself, I have often taken, I mean, I can be in the mountains within 30 minutes and just drive up and go off to where there's nobody else and really rest. And the city itself, Colorado Springs, is a very unique city in that it's got this peaceful serene, kind of homey feeling. When I moved here from Denver, it was I very much felt like I was on a permanent vacation, as the traffic is different, the people are different. And one thing very unique to Colorado for somebody from the East Coast or the West Coast, when they come to Colorado, the people are what they really notice the difference in. Coloradans, as an example, when I visit Santa Fe, I had car trouble. And I was in a parking lot for an hour and a half, and a Coloradan stopped. None of the people from New Mexico stopped. And in Colorado, that's the norm. If you
Mhm.
pull over on the side of the road and you have issues, somebody's stopping. If you're out at a restaurant, somebody may actually just engage with you from the table over. If you're walking down the street, the people really just want to make you feel good, and they want to feel good. And a lot of people move here because I've known many people who have recovered from addiction and moved here to have a different change of scenery, because there's so many activities, from paddleboarding to hiking to the hot springs we're going to do as a release in Manitou Hot Springs, which is nestled against the Front Range. The whole city is nestled against the Front Range. And it's a very beautiful, unique place. It's very dry. It's not necessarily a desert, but when I describe these big mountain ranges, I'm speaking to, we have the plains and then we have the mountains. So Colorado Springs is on the plains area. So it's a very unique environment. The culture is very unique and different. It's very open and accepting of differences in a way that many places aren't. And you really can just have a conversation with a stranger at the grocery store on a regular basis.
I love that. It's so beautiful.
There was one other thing I forgot to add. So Colorado Springs is the Olympic city of the United States. So our Olympians actually come here to train at the high altitude. So being aware that altitude is there, but also that it really will, in a way, challenge you in a beautiful way.
Hmm. Yes, love that. I'm going to share a little bit on the website. So, for anybody who hasn't had a chance to check out the website, it is, let's see, let's move this, holistic with a C, human design immersion.com. So, you can come back and check out all the information about an immersion, what it is. So, on the homepage, we have the flyer, a little bit more information, the essentials. You can kind of check out the area a little bit. What I really, really love about this as well is you can check out Colorado Springs, what's in the local area right there, and the mansion. So this is going to be the location that is an option for staying. So part of the tickets, the ticket structure, you can buy your ticket, but the room is not included, but you can get one where you buy your ticket and the room as well. So you can check out the floor plan over here. You can check out what it looks like in the actual house of the immersion, the hot tub. Check out the facilities. Everything looks absolutely beautiful. So definitely check out the website if you'd like to see a little bit more about what the feel of the mansion is going to be like. And then again, we're talking about ticketing. So with ticketing, there is the regular pricing, and then there are 2 hardship tickets left as well to honor, for people who would like to be a part of this, but maybe it's not financially feasible. So there is an application for that as well on the website. Then the pricing for the ticket. So this is right here. You can see the ticket pricing. So it's $1,250 for the full immersion. The hardship ticket, which is the discounted one, which again is through application. And you can see here again the add-on. So this is the mansion lodging, the suite, and then the meal package as well. So there's also an option to have all of your meals as part of this, and that is not included with the ticket pricing. And then the schedule. I don't know if we're going to go into the full schedule right now, but you can also on the website check out the schedule and see. So again, it is the 20th to the 24th. And so when you arrive, you're going to check in at the mansion, open house at the casa, and then you're going to meet at the casa. And then this is amazing, the Sun Water Spa. So this is a 90-minute private soak on the top floor reserved for participants. What a beautiful way to land in Colorado and start the event. So you can look through all the different details on there. Let's see other things. So close by, within, I think you said it was like 8 to 20 minutes walking distance, there are grocery stores, there's a gourmet coffee shop, there's a pizza location as well. So there's lots of things nearby. We've got transportation. Christina, if you'd like to talk a little bit about the transportation, about the airport.
Yeah, so you can fly into Denver, Colorado, if it's an easier destination, especially for international travelers. But there's also the airport, a 25-minute Uber ride from the mansion itself, and it's located on a far side of Colorado Springs. For the transportation, really, if you need special accommodation, please reach out to us one-on-one so we can try and accommodate getting you the ride that you need to the event space. We also have 4 bicycles if you prefer a quick ride to any of the locations that you can borrow. And the mansion itself has 2 floors with 7 rooms and 2 kitchens. So each floor has a kitchen. The suite itself is everything included. You would need a kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom. And so to get to and from the event, it is planned for participants to either bike or walk. It is a 12 to 13-minute leisurely walk from the mansion to the casa. As well, the grocery store is within 1 block, about a 2-minute walk max from the event space, and about a 4-minute walk from the mansion. So if you had decided you didn't want a meal ticket, you didn't want to participate, that plaza with the grocery stores also has a restaurant named Stir. So everything is very walkable. And for transportation, if you feel more comfortable with having a secured ride between the venues, or if you wanted to go exploring at some point before or after, or even during the immersion, it's recommended that you rent a car. You can also reach out to me personally if you need transportation from the airport. I can try to accommodate. I do have several friends that live in the city of Colorado Springs as well as Denver. So if there was somebody who needed a ride from the Denver airport, I also can suggest shuttle services that run both from Denver and Colorado Springs.
Amazing.
I did want to say, though, for transportation to the spa and the transportation to Red Garden of the Gods, that's all taken care of within the immersion.
Yes, but between the participants will be able to hop in a car, and we will get you to the hot springs and back from the hot springs, whether to the casa or to the mansion, and then as well for Garden of the Gods. We'll have transportation set up so that those 2 locations are about a 15-minute drive from the casa and the mansion.
Yes. And what a beautiful way to start soaking and just releasing and just landing in your body, because how often are we so busy, especially after an airport or especially after traveling, going and doing and moving and going, to just go, it feels delicious. Does anybody have any questions? If you want to ask any questions that are coming up so far, feel free to come off mute, or you can put them in the chat. So swimwear should be on your packing list. Absolutely, yes. Yes, that is a great thing for a packing list. Love it. Awesome. Okay, and so I would love to talk a little bit more. I think we kind of went over most of the details. Christina, was there anything else detail-wise that you can think of?
Yeah, and as soon as you asked, it left. Can you come back to me?
Yes, absolutely.
I wanted to touch on, and if Therese or Kalima want to touch on, the difference between a conference and immersion. Yeah. There's a big difference between going to an event where you're learning intellectually in a group setting, the human design mechanics, and immersion. And some of us have experience with immersions. I think some of the participants may not have ever had an experience with an immersion. And the difference between a conference and immersion is something I'd love to, either I can touch on, or if you guys want to touch on it, just so people understand that this isn't a setting where you come in and you're learning through lectures or through talks or through teaching. This is an embodied experiment where you get to experience your inner knowing. You get to experience the mechanics with others and the facilitators who know the information of how to guide through that in a way that isn't intellectual, it's in your body.
Maybe I can give an example for those who have never been in an immersion. Yes, it's okay.
Do you want me to, or do you want to?
I'd like to.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, when I entered human design 22 years ago, I didn't know any of that. And the name immersion wasn't even born. So we still had workshops But in hindsight, I know it were immersions. And the person who I really would like to mention her, who created that and invented it, is Mary Ann Winiger. And I met her 22 years ago, and then she just called it workshop. And like, for instance, she's a generator, sacral generator, and she put all the projectors in the room. Maybe we are 15, I don't know, 10, also 15 in Visa event when Ra gathered people in and said, now, without me inviting you, just stare at me, because that's what we projectors do. Yeah. Because you're so interested in the other. And we did that. And she was like, oh, that really hurts so much. Please look away, look away. So we did. And then she said, can you just look down, close your eyes? And I'd like to do another experiment now. I don't remember if she came back in or if we came in, if she went out. So there was like a separation. And then in the second stage, she was like, can you just wait until I ask you, I invite you to look at me, to be seen by you, but I need to be the person to decide. So we all looked down and we were already quite shocked. That's the effect that projectors can have on others, especially on the open aura of generators. And we waited and we waited. And I do this also in my immersions usually. Yes. I love that exercise so much. And wait, and I also always say, like, if you never want us to look at you, please just tell us and we walk away or you walk away. And then there's always the moment when curiosity just, I guess, wins. And then in the first time, she also said, I would really like you now to look at me. And we did it. And then she was like beaming. And it was like, I feel so seen. Yeah, so it's, you guys are actually here to see us. You're so ready. I see the light in all your eyes and how beautiful each of you is. And now I can see your projector aura actually in that group and so on. We got all the praise and individual recognition. It was so beautiful. So that's one exercise I always love most. And you cannot tell people if they haven't experienced it. On the one side of being the one receiving it, or on the other side of being the one waiting, if it happens or not. And then getting the recognition for who we really are, as projectors, being these aliens that have been around only for 250 years. I have to say that. Old times, they have three predecessors, but not us. So and that's why I'm so happy that I can really be there for the projectors. Of course, interacting, projector generator dance, initiated by manifestors, reflectors, just being mostly in the middle of an immersion. I was looking what's going on here. And everybody playing together. And Kalima is the person really has this grounded, sacral being who can really work with the generators from that perspective. And we meet and we dance. And I know I've met her before. And I just don't have to boast. All of you, I've met all of you. Yeah, so that's so wonderful. And we always do a bit of mini immersions when we all have been longer in our design. We try to. So I might have to guide at a leadership channel. So if I'm invited, I know that I can do it in a certain way. And we all know our designs, our circuitry, and also our variables. We can play around with that a bit. So yeah, so I'm so excited.
It's amazing. It's like a big play. It's playing with the energy, right? Really getting to experience it. I remember when we were in Ibiza the first year. And I remember the moment, because a lot of times we come into these things and we're thinking like, you learn so much about yourself. But I think that was the moment I truly, deeply, on a cellular level, understood the projector recognition. When all the projectors sat on the couch and all the generators were sitting over here in that moment, and seeing some of the projectors crying in the recognition and what it meant to them was something that will never leave my heart. Truly, deeply getting it, going, yeah, okay, recognition, yes, okay, understanding that, but seeing it and feeling it was unlike anything. That was such a beautiful, beautiful experience. And that's part of really going into the embodiment of it. Yeah.
I'm so glad you were part of that.
Yeah, that
so
was
beautiful.
It really was such a beautiful moment for everyone in the room, for everybody in the room. Absolutely.
Voice
Yeah.
generators, they were all asking
Yeah.
us questions then, and we could shine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it was. It felt like shining. You know, they talk about the projector, the lighthouse. It was shining out. It was beautiful. It was really, really beautiful. And then, Christina, did you want to touch on having two facilitators versus having one facilitator?
Yes, I wanted, first, I want to open it to Therese and Kalima as well. But part of the vision that I had in this was I could have done just a projector immersion, but I wanted to be able to support all types. And I think that Therese has experience with the projector immersion, and Kalima offers this support and this experience and this gift. And I wanted to see if either of you were able to share about the splitting of the group. So we've talked about being able to, with two facilitators instead of one, support the dynamics of energy types, non-energy types, the projector, the generator, manifestor, generator, projector. And I'd love to touch on if either of you have anything you want to share about not just particular exercises, but the ways in which the support will be offered to individuals of different types and what that may look like throughout the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and what vision you have for being able to support the individual types, break off into two separate auric groups, and what that may look like. Is there something either of you could share about that, or would you like me to?
I feel like that was like 10 questions.
It was a lot.
I apologize. Quad left. Pew, pew, pew,
Like
I
pew.
got you. I got you. I'll break it up. I'll break it up. Okay,
I
so the first one.
absolutely trust
Yeah.
Kalima. We know each other. We have been in the same places, and we have communicated with each other. So it's very hard to say exactly, like giving, because we play by ear. Yeah, we know what the group needs, and I feel like I can read her, she can read me. So that's a big part of it. But I don't know, Kalima, would you like to say something about that?
I think part of what she might be asking is explaining allowing the projectors to have their energy, whether it's a full day or, they die out in midday and they just want to relax and go back and take care of themselves, where we can just move on with the generators and do the things that we're going to do in the afternoon and evening times. So there's no expectation of needing to make everything, that you're not going to miss out on what's there because it's there to support you. And if you're tired and your body's asking for rest, we're asking you to honor that because we're trying to put you in a place of honoring your embodiment.
Yes. And that alone is such a funny experience when you get to go, oh, wait, hold on. I do want to walk out of the room. And you do it and see how that feels in your body. Because I'm going to tell you, the first time I did it, I was like, oh, this is so uncomfortable. I was like, oh, what does it feel like, Sana? I see you go. I'm like, oh, yeah. That moment when you truly listen to what your body is saying to you and start to honor that. It's quite an experience. And, one of the beautiful things that Kalima really deeply brings is this trusting in the presence. I know when she was doing the event down in Miami here, for her talk, it was like, what are we doing? She's like, I'm going to feel the energy. And what I love about both of you is it's like, I'm going to tune into the energy of the immersion and move with the energy that's there versus we're going to do this and this is how it's going to happen. Going, what are we playing with? And again, being deeply present to what is there and ready to be played with and moved with as you start to, as well, amazing that you have a projector energy to work with the projector and the non-energy types, and then having the generator as well. So that's also a cool dynamic with both of you working together. So I think part of it with having two versus one person, I think it's the interplay of both of you, but also having the energy and the non-energy type that's really cool in these experiences. Yeah.
There's also going
Maybe
to be a room that people can rest in. So if they want to stay in the event space, but they want to step to their own aura or into their own space to rest, there'll also be that as well.
Yeah. Therese?
Therese, what were you going to say?
I'd like to ask Sanne. Sanne, are you ready to share a bit? She was in an immersion that I facilitated not only for projectors, but also some generators. And I wished Kalima had also been there. So we could hold the space. We had a huge yoga hall and people were on different ends. So the two aura types was not no manifestor or reflector, just the two, so to speak, main types. Who are, say, 80% of humankind. But I don't know, I hope I didn't shock Sanne enough.
I saw a nod. I saw the yeah.
Okay if not, it's okay. But would you like to? Are you ready?
Yes. About what my experience was like in the immersion.
Yeah.
Well, I was first of all shocked that there were so many projectors. It was like there were more projectors than generators. And it was for me very insightful into really experiencing what it's like to be with the different aura types, and also see the projectors were sitting at the one side of the room and the generators were on the other side of the room. So it's just a different energy. I could almost feel the buzz on my side, the generator side, and then you could just see the total state of relaxedness on the projector side. And then it's also, of course, dependent on how far you are in your experiment. I mean, I came with a friend of mine, and some people thought she was a generator at first because she's so new into human design and she was still acting like a super generator. But also to see the transformation in her, that was also very amazing. And yeah, it was really eye-opening and also sort of calming. Yeah, and I just love to explore the different centers. It's like you're learning a language of frequency, because every emotion, every feeling, every different center gate, everything talks to you in certain frequencies. And if you don't learn to listen to that language of your body, it's just stuff going on, or you're so in your head that you're not even paying attention to it. And by really going inside and learning to see the difference between which frequency is talking, you can learn to understand the language of your body, and that takes practice. And an immersion puts that in perspective for me. So yeah, that's a bit.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Would anybody else like to share? No, Christoph had been at an immersion month holiday. I don't know if Christoph is ready, or who else. I don't know about the others who have been really in immersions and would like to share something what they took away apart from.
I haven't been in any immersions where we're all in the same place, but I've certainly done immersions where we're on together in Zoom. So one of the questions I have about what you guys are going to be doing is, I understand and I'm excited about the whole generator, projector, or energy and non-energy. I also wonder if there's going to be any kind of emotional, non-emotional thing, and then maybe some of the other ones. Put all the people that have that open head, and then bring in somebody who's got the defined head, and what, either the open or undefined versus the defined, and how that feels.
Absolutely.
When you're actually in aura.
That's the main thing, and we can even explore some centers twice that I experienced in a recent immersion with a projector, to what you feel first when you have no idea, and then you share that or not, you keep it with you, whatever you feel like. And then when the people, let's say all emotionally defined people, go out again, and you have more awareness what went on, and then they come back. So this is an even more differentiated experience. So there is so much. I need a whole week at least. But it always works out exactly what's needed. Centers, some go fast, some like, okay, get that, like spleen goes out, comes in or so. And other centers take deeper, maybe twice, or like really some embodiment. So it's always, whoever is here and shares and creates that field is part of that. And absolutely, that's one of the main things of an immersion.
Love that. Great question. Great
You got a
question.
question.
Yeah. I love what you added there, Therese, that it is to play with them, but the ones that hit to really go back into. I know because I have an undefined solar plexus. And that was a huge one for me. When I was like, what do you mean that's not mine? It's totally mine. I felt this all my whole life. This is me. And I was like, oh, no, it's not. And getting to experience it again. And that in and of itself was such a gift for later deconditioning to go, oh, wait, but hold on. I know because we're around so many different auras and we're around so many different people and so many different activations that it's like, ah, okay. I can feel this. That's not me. Okay. Okay. This is, starting to get a little bit more comfortable with the discomfort because it's always uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Until you know it, and then it's not uncomfortable anymore, right? Because then you know how it's defined or how you experience it within you, and
I think
it takes away that fear of the unknown.
And I think that earlier when you guys touched on stepping out of the room if you need to, no matter your design type, I think that it's that what you're touching on, Kalima, is something that for me in immersions, stepping out of the room, I have nervousness and unsure, and I'm feeling the whole room. So sometimes even not knowing if I should leave the room, it's a good idea to leave the room to assess whether or not I should be in the room. And that discomfort that comes up of what am I going to do if I leave the room? What are people going to think? All of that. And it becomes my experience in leaving an immersion room then held space for me to be at peace and to see the acceptance and love and the situations, and instead of making it mean everything, just experience it, and then later it's not as uncomfortable to do what you need to do for yourself.
And that's so huge in life because how often does our body speak to us and we ignore it? And our body speaks to us and we push through. And our body speaks to us and we're like, oh, but I can't, right? How often does that happen? So starting to give yourself that permission to feel and connect back in with your body is just, it's huge. It's beautiful. It's such a gift. And then, the other thing I want to come back to as well, Therese, you started to talk about Marianne Winiger. And this is actually something that's really beautiful. This is a beautiful gift because immersion itself in human design, this is something that Therese was actually, I don't know, what would you call it? Because you've worked with it and you've done it. So immersion itself with human design is not something that's just anybody can just do this. It's, working with Marianne, that it was her methodology that, correct me if I get the story incorrect here, that it was Ra gave this to Marianne and said, make these and create these immersions. And
Developed it, actually.
Yeah.
So Ra, he was the initiator of the human design system, and he chose her, one of his earliest teachers. Even in the beginning, they had very short training, and then it was more extensive. But he recognized also in me that she had this special gift. And they worked together closely. But then I think the first one was in Hawaii, and we talked about Hawaii. There she just tried it out, and then it was completely new for people. And this was even when Ra was dead, I think. Maybe 1-2 years before. I'm not sure. So it was not him having that idea. He called it workshops. We did it in the Ibiza events, but he was not a people's person. He was like sitting, teaching, enjoying chats in the breaks, smoking with people, like answering questions, but sitting with people, no, and immerse with them. There are rarely any manifestors, really. It's harder for them often, And so Marianne developed that, and of course with his blessing, and then she worked with people, and then what was it? Actually 2 years ago only, was 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, when I was in one of her immersions, and she had seen me there, we'd known each other and all that, and she says, now you're ready. So she wrote it in an email, you can do immersions. I've seen your process, I've seen your development, and I can see you especially guiding projectors and work with generators, but ideally co-work with a generator. and
Yeah.
then guide. So only when I got her blessing, before I called it workshops or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
her special blessing, I'm like, okay, it's okay. I can call it that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. That's beautiful. And for anybody, you know, I take it for granted, but for anybody who doesn't know, Therese is an original student of Roz as well. And so she's what we call an OG, one of the original gangsters. So very, very special. And then as well with Kalima, I mean, you have been in the human design community holding space for people always for so long. You've done with the High Desert Human Design Conference. I know the space you held in Miami was absolutely amazing. And then on the back end of Ibiza, listen, you were our stronghold there. So just so beautiful in the way you allow energy to move and whatever's present, and especially with that cross that you have, you know, the penetration to see deeply what's actually there at the root of it. I am so excited for this combination of you two together, bringing this together. It's so, so exciting. Yeah, I love that. So actually, I have another question if nobody else has.
Absolutely.
Hmm?
Absolutely.
You
So I
what?
just want to say absolutely with Kalima, I just know she can do that. So
Yes. Oh,
seeing her,
yeah.
this is mutual recognition. There is this, as you said, there is nothing that pushes her into, oh, nitty gritty. I am no holding it. Yeah, this is what we need. And then one day people are ready to do that. And when we see them, they can hold that. And others, that's not good, better or worse. It's just, can you let it go out of hand or can you keep it together? And that's what feels safe for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everybody else who is here in that call
Yeah.
is just, yeah, it's serendipity to meet people you can be in aura with
Yeah.
and experiment with and
Mm-hmm.
trust. Yeah. So
Yes.
it's really something very special. I mean,
Yeah.
Mark and I've met Christoph and so now Mary and Laura, I haven't seen in person, I think, who are
Yeah.
here now. Yeah.
Yes, I
So,
love that.
yeah,
Oh,
so the night here on Zoom. Yeah.
yeah, feels good.
We
And
can't forget Mark.
yes, and Mark. So I would love to hear from each of you, especially, you know, Christina, for you being the impetus for this, creating this event. Like what really spoke to you? How did this come to you? Because to make this happen, I have to applaud you that your Therese is flying from overseas. Kalima is coming in. She's like, this is amazing. Like putting this together is fantastic. So I'd love to hear the background or story on that.
Well, I think this event has been shocking in the most peaceful way. I
Yeah.
remember the first time the three of us really got together to talk about this on Zoom
Yeah.
and the pensiveness I had and the movement that they both honored what their bodies wanted when we had been talking about the event for a month or two, and there was a day we all had a yes together communally. But as a manifester, I think it's been a very unique experience. I'm 7.5 years into my design. Year 1 or 2, I was in IHDS schooling and I knew I wanted to host events. And at the time, my life circumstances didn't permit for 4 or 5 years me to be in a place to do so. And so, as a strategic, meaning all my variable arrows are left, quad left, I've had this vision for quite some time, and it's fascinating to see as it unfolds. The When Ra says your mind is for measuring, not for the actions for doing, it's really true because it's like there's a bazillion components that I've thought of, but none of them are coming together the way I would have thought. And the push itself has been very peaceful. The excitement or worry that could come and the not self has been not almost non-existent, and watching the community and the responses, and then with Therese and Kalima, just the true gift that it is. I personally have an aspect in my design that is a willingness to forget in the glow of victory. And I'm walking this line of how beautiful this is. And I want to recognize both Therese and Kalima for their contribution. I don't think there's ever going to be a team like the two of them in existence. This is a very unique event with the two of them. And if it gets done with the two of them again, I think it would be totally different. But the mechanism that you each offer the group and who you are and your experience and your knowledge is just so unique. And to be able to communicate, and I share some of this from the lens of a manifestor who is blind to impact. We are blind to impact, and there are other manifestors that we love, Selene and Jessica, that are leading in the fields. And it's such a privilege to be able to experience my first big push that I can't think my way through. And there are times I have to lean on Therese's guidance and her criticism, which is a positive thing. Most people think of criticism as a negative thing in the English language. But for me, since a very young age, criticism has been desired because it's just measuring where somebody's at and then measuring where we're going and having that measurement in a way that doesn't just create a container, it creates a safe environment for all involved, for all who touch the immersion, for all who hear about it. And having known Kalima, we met by happenstance on my trips to Santa Fe. She happened to be in Santa Fe for years now. We just kept running into each other. And I remember the first time we met, we felt like we'd always known each other, but it was at Jonah's Mother Dreamers art show. And there's just such a gift in having an emotional authority person in your life that doesn't push to emotionalize, and a gift in having a manifesting generator around that also has that is in their body instead of trying to do, and that honors their pause. And so the process of getting here, I've always wanted to host an event, and this isn't how I would have pictured it at all. And it's even more beautiful than I could have imagined in the process to it. And I think the last thing I'll say is just, all of us, all involved, not just the facilitators, my organization, you're hosting this call, but the participants, we're all continually undergoing deconditioning. So it's been a beautiful gift to be able to pause and assess where I need a moment to decondition, or somebody on the team needs a moment, needs some space. And then to be able to trust the mechanism of our three authorities working together, and here are four, to facilitate the event, not as a facilitator, but to facilitate the event space itself. And it's fascinating to me because excitement has been my biggest trigger on top of worry or victimization. And it's been beautiful to see how neither of those components have gotten in the way here, how I've been able to step in peacefully without excitement, without worry, and the gift that it is to be able to get feedback and to be able to then hold space for individuals to have a process that is life-changing, because an immersion is life-changing. Every single immersion, if you go to one immersion your whole life, it changes your life and your perspective. So if that answers your question.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes, I love it. It's such a beautiful space between, I know, with everybody here, and same thing with Miami, those conversations we have when things were coming up, and building and growing stronger and growing in love, and getting the place to this beautiful space where it can be this place of love for everybody who arrives, this place of where you can be vulnerable, where you can really deeply step into what is there for you in your body. I'd love to hear from Kalima and Therese as well. What was the thing? And, sometimes it might be like, what was the mind story maybe, or the body? Because Kalima, I know you're so good at riding your emotional wave. I know, it's amazing. So what was the thing, or the experience, or the feeling in putting this immersion together and being part of it?
This whole thing has really worked out in a way that has been wonderful to observe. I've really been the passenger in this, and really allowing to unfold what's unfolding without my mind getting in the way. There's a million stories that you can make up in a process of creating something, but honoring each of our energies in the way that we have, being able to talk openly about things that we needed to talk about, has been very peaceful. It's been simple. And if there has been an unease in the energy for me, I bring it up and I say, this is what's feeling. And we usually get to the core of it, and we're able to move past it. And So it's been a beautiful process because there is no mind here. And there's no expectation of what's going to happen. It's what will be, and we'll be present with who's going to come. And I look forward to the energy that we're going to create together to heal in.
Yeah. Beautiful. Therese?
Yeah, that was so beautiful. I don't even have anything to add. It's a beautiful not final words, but
Done.
for that,
I'm done.
because we can talk and talk, but hearing the frequency of your voice in this, yeah, that this says it all. I don't have anything to add. I could talk, but I don't. I decide not to.
Love
Thank
it.
you so much. It's just, yeah, it's
Yeah.
exactly like that.
Yes.
Absolutely resonates. And also thank you so much, Jess, for
Yes.
hosting that, for being there with us in
Yeah.
this to help us on your world tour, to spread the world. That we are part of that, and I can see what may emerge even in these times of change.
Yeah.
We can meet people who can resonate with our frequency. We've mentioned the word frequency a few times, and not be alone in all that, and keep each other also hold each other with love and support.
Yeah.
It means so much to me. And
Yeah.
How we all come together to build each other up.
Yes. Yes. 100%. Well, thank you so much to everyone who joined us here. And if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. Anything you want to know, a great resource again is the website, and that's holistichumandesignimmersion.com. Thank you so much, Christina, for starting this and bringing this in and initiating this. I'm so excited this exists, that this is a thing, this is happening. Kalima, Therese, thank you so much to both of you for sharing your love, your heart, your healing, your space, your energy. Just both of you are beautiful. This is a beautiful, amazing, amazing event, and I'm so excited it's happening. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all.
Thank you so much.